Hi guys, hope y'all had a good weekend. This week we're gonna start on solving radical equations, but before we do that, I wanted to make sure that we still are good at solving regular equations, if that makes sense. So, these are just basic linear equations, and I just wanted to solve them. So, just the thing to remember with these is that you always want to get the variable isolated. So basically, that there's only one variable, and you want to get it all the way by itself. And you have to use like basic rules of algebra to do that. So, for example, if I've got two x's on the same side, I'm going to go ahead and combine those. Then I have x's on both sides of my equation. So in order to get them on the same side, I have to do the opposite of one. So I'm going to subtract 8x over here. But because I can't just subtract one side, I have to do both sides so to keep the equation balanced. So those will cancel. And then 9x minus 8x is just x, or 1x. And I bring down my 8, and I bring down my 11. Then, now that I've only got 1x, I have to get it by itself. So I have to undo that plus 8. So the opposite of plus 8 is minus 8. So I'm going to end up with 3. X is all the way by itself. Therefore, your equation has been solved. Pretty awesome, if you ask me. So, whenever you have parentheses, you want to go ahead and distribute that. So, remember that a minus is just like a negative. So, that's basically going to be taking negative 6 and multiplying it by everything. I'm going to go ahead and bring down, though, the 140 and the negative 4. Then negative 6 times 5x is negative 30x, and negative 6 times 1 is just negative 6. So before I start solving, though, I want to go ahead and combine my two constants that are on the same side. Negative 4 plus negative 6 is going to be negative 10. So now I've only got one thing on either side. I can go to solve. So I have to get rid of that negative 10. Generally, you want to get rid of the things that are further away from the x first. That's generally how it works. It's also, technically you're doing reverse order of operations, but if you never know which number to start with the one that's further away. That's usually a pretty good indicator, I guess. Anyway, the opposite of negative 10 is positive 10, so I'm going to add 10 to both sides. And I'll end up with 150 equals negative 30x. When a number and a variable are together like that, where they're actually touching, that means that they're being multiplied together. So the opposite of that is going to be division. So I have to divide both sides by negative 30. And I'm going to end up with x equals negative 5. And ta-da, you are done. Okay, one more. This one, I want to go ahead and get rid of my parentheses. So I'll have 8b plus 32. Am I multiplying that right? 32, sorry. Equals negative 28 minus 7b. Those just come down. So now I've got variables on two sides, so I want to get them on the same side. So I'm going to add 7b to both sides. You also could have subtracted 8b. You would have ended up with the same answer. Anyway, 15b plus 32 equals negative 28. So, sorry, I don't know if y'all can hear my dog. She's trying to get me to play with her. But now's not the time, Biscuit. Okay, so, stop it. You're distracting me. Go on. So I got to get the b by itself. So I'm going to get rid of that 32. So I'm going to subtract 32 on both sides. I hear you. So I'm going to bring down my 15b. and it's going to equal negative 60. The number and the variable are touching, so I got to divide both sides. So B is negative 4. And there you go. Solving regular equations. It's all very